We're back on The Chef You and I have to tell you, I absolutely love this guy, Jim LaValle. He's teaching me so much. I told you at one particular time today on a radio show that I would go to pharmacists. See, I grew up with doctors in my family, Dr.
Right.
Vince Lenz,
Sure.
and all these guys, and my daughter is a hand therapist, and my brother's a hand therapist, and my cousin is an orthopedic surgeon. But they used to, to me, they never seemed to get the medical thing as far as, drugs and certain things like antibiotics right for me. So I used to go in and talk to my pharmacist. So, because it didn't matter if I was in the hospital or whatever, having children or whatever, they would give me something that would break me out. And I'd go, I'm allergic to this. Do you see this bumps on my face? Right? So the pharmacists used to be my best friends.
Right.
So I call them first before I talk to anybody else.
Well, I'm a big believer in pharmacy. I mean, I continue to teach pharmacists. I teach physicians as well. I taught at the University of Cincinnati here for 17 years at the College of Pharmacy and taught at the College of Medicine. And I think pharmacists are just fantastic. As professions go, it's great.
For what you have to learn and understand, it has to be.
Yeah, it is. It's great because I could talk with any specialist about whether it's cardiovascular drugs or it's GI drugs or the chemistry of that. We have to learn it all because we don't have a specialty. We have to learn all the drugs because of all the different doctors are coming and sending their patients to us. So I've always loved the profession of pharmacy because I have memories of my mother working in a Rexall pharmacy with a soda fountain where they were serving food and making things for people.
Do you remember?
So I really love the profession. It's what got me in the profession and why I love the profession.
Do you remember Wolf Pharmacy?
Sure.
Oh, right. And there was another one across from St. William's, too, and I think that was Wolf, too. I can't remember. But anyhow.
Then you had Hart Pharmacy?
Oh, yeah, Hart Pharmacy. They were really good friends of mine.
Yeah, the Harts?
Yes.
I was an extern at Hart Pharmacy. Absolutely.
Oh, my gosh. Isn't that funny? Well, you are originally from the west side, which is really the best side. That's what we say, right?
That's exactly right.
Anyhow, I want to talk, during the break, I wanted to talk about glutamine because I think it's really important for people that don't understand what this does.
Oh, sure.
And especially if you work out.
Absolutely.
Right? So let's talk, since you used to be a bodybuilder, let's talk about glutamine and why it's so important to have, right, especially when you've worked out or before or after you worked out.
Well, there's several things that make glutamine so important. So the first thing when you think about glutamine is that every mucosal cell in your intestine, 29 feet long worth of intestine, need glutamine in order to keep them intact. And why that's important is your immune system, 70% of your immune system's in your gut. It's in your intestine. So when you drink glutamine, you are fueling your immune system. So that's one.
Okay.
The next thing is that glutamine helps to release a growth hormone. So if you take glutamine at night or you take it after your workouts, it enhances the release of growth hormone. Why is that important? Growth hormone helps you to keep lean mass while you're trying to burn fat mass, and that's very important.
Extremely important. So I can take this at night, too.
Absolutely.
So that's really a smart idea.
Right.
So I could, now, when I'm working out a lot, and I started recently getting my husband to work out with me as well.
All right.
And, it doesn't matter what, it's really important to lift weights. It's very important to walk. And, I started a walking program. I've been doing Walk Away the Pounds for years, and I love her because she makes it easy, but it's a workout.
Right.
And you're using weights, you're exercising, and you're walking.
Right.
You're doing something besides using that chair.
That's exactly right.
Right.
It's so important. Well, I mean, I'm of this generation, so I have my activity monitor, and I met my goals today for walking.
Right.
And I can look it up, and it's really important that you keep moving because a lot of people don't realize, when you look at what's getting us fat as a country,
okay,
it isn't so much that it is physical inactivity, meaning that we only work out maybe an hour a day and the rest of the time we sit in a chair.
Right.
But it's the fact that we start to eat too many of these foods.
Now let's talk about these foods.
We start going into too many starches,
right,
not enough lean proteins and healthy fats.
Do you know, I can't even tell you when I had the last bagel.
Right.
I'm serious because since I told you during my radio show that my daughter, these were my worst culprits.
That's why I brought them.
Potato chips. chips and I were such best friends.
You had a love fest with potato chips. That was going on.
Oh my word!
Did you lick the inside out at the end when you got to the end of the bag?
No,
Did you lick your finger and just dabble to get the salt?
No.
Come on.
No.
What about the crumbs? Did you get the crumbs?
Yeah, the crumbs.
The crumbs you would do.
Crumbs,
All
the
right.
crumbs,
I knew it was one or the other. There's no way that you didn't get a lot of that one.
Right. Well, it's funny because I only have them, as you know that I'm doing this carb thing, this program.
Sure.
And I have to tell you that I save it for that time period if I really want to have potato chips.
Right.
But, I used to be so afraid of cheese because fat. But now on this particular program, I can have cheese as a snack. I have my almonds.
Right.
So I'm eating things that I really do love, but I'm just not eating a lot of carbs.
Well,
right?
I mean, the Journal of Sports Medicine just came out with another study and said the number one culprit for our obesity epidemic is the fact we take in too many carbs and too many sugars. And there's a lot of hidden carbs. Gluten-free's in now, right?
Yeah.
Same thing here. Sure, it's okay to get a gluten-free cracker, but if you sit and you eat the whole box...
How many carbs are there?
Well, you're still, let's take a look. Total carbohydrates are 24 in 13 crackers. And you should only take in 15. So you should really only eat 5 or 6 crackers as a serving of starch carbohydrates. And a lot of people don't do that, right? How many people you think of will count out 6 crackers and just eat 6 crackers? Same thing with potato chips. What's the serving size on this one?
Okay, let's talk about that.
Let's take a look at this one because this is your love, right?
Here,
how many carbs we got on this?
Okay.
Right here.
Let me use
16 carbohydrates.
Hold on, I'm going to use my glasses.
And it's 13 chips is your serving size.
So 13?
13 chips is your serving size. So if you were going to get, I like to teach people 15 gram of carbohydrate increments because that's kind of the, somewhat of the official one.
A little bit weird.
Yeah. So 15 grams of carbs. If you eat 13 chips, you're fulfilling that amount of starch that you should be getting in a serving of chips.
So is that 1 ounce?
That's pretty great. Let's see what the serving size is. 1
ounce.
Exactly.
That's 13.
Yes.
That's 150 calories, right?
Yeah. And so how many? So when you would eat your chips, when these were your best friend, and you would hug them and you would love them, and you would
probably about 26 or 27.
There we go. That's what I was looking for. But that's usually what happens, right? Because it tastes so good.
That's right.
And we're under a lot of stress, and the salt feels good, and the crunchiness feels good. But we have to. It literally feels good emotionally, right? It does. So it's understanding that we have to begin to look at food in a way that says, well, what's going to nourish my body the most and keep me from having those cravings? Things like cheeses. Apples. You mentioned almonds. What a great, and pistachios, right?
Oh, pistachios.
Almonds, pistachios. Great
I love
nuts,
those.
Right?
Now, on this one, let's talk about this pistachio first because I love pistachio. I love nuts. I could eat nuts over potato chips now. Seriously.
Yeah, sure. I'm going for my glasses since you're going for your glasses.
So there's only 8 carbohydrates.
8 carbs in a quarter cup.
Oh my gosh. I want to show people. Now, I'm going to ask our assistant after the break I'm going to go get some almonds and show you what a quarter cup looks like because it's more than you think.
That would be great, right? Because
Okay.
you could see it. Because people don't realize what a quarter cup of rice isn't that much, but a quarter cup of almonds?
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
And I have them, it's weird. I have them every single, don't throw them.
Oh, please. I can catch it.
Okay, I'm going to take a break. I think we're ready to take a break now. No, we're not. Let me go get a cup, and I'll show people
one of the big things I try to teach people when they come to me for diet, because we've been consulting people for weight loss and fat loss for almost 30 years, and really now close to I don't know, I think we've touched close to 400,000 lives with our weight loss programs across the country. And it's the big thing of using dietary supplements or nutrients that can help you manage that carbohydrate intake. I know we talked about this before the show, but in the front there, I've got this bottle of phase 2 white kidney bean extract. And why that's so important, this is really an important nutrient. Because in clinical studies, when you took phase 2 and you were eating your meals, it lowered the amount of carbohydrates that get absorbed, so you don't absorb as much of the
Well,
carbohydrates.
let me ask you a question, because this is what I felt like today. Now, you saw what I had for lunch. I had, well, you didn't probably. I had
You were way at the other end of the table.
romaine lettuce with grilled chicken.
Right.
And I had regular dressing.
Right.
Okay. So then, because I was hungry after that, because I didn't get to, whatever.
You didn't get your potato chips.
No, I didn't eat any potato chips. That was the low carb meal.
That's right. So you had what I had. Okay. I had a Caesar salad with salmon.
Right. So.
And picked the croutons off.
I can't eat the croutons because they got garlic in them.
Right.
Isn't that smart?
Right.
So then later on, for dinner, I had a bowl of chili.
Right.
With no beans.
Right.
And a little bit of cheese and 2 crackers. And then I had a hamburger. Okay? That was my carb meal. But then after that, I'm just feeling so full. Is that what the carbs are doing to me?
Well, 2 crackers isn't that many carbs. The big problem that people...
The bun is.
Yeah, the bun. If you had a hamburger with the bun...
Yeah, of course.
Sure, you can feel really kind of full and even bloated.
Bloated,
right?
That's how I feel.
And that's kind of can be uncomfortable. This reduces the absorption of that starch so that it goes to the lower intestine and feeds the beneficial flora, but it doesn't raise your blood sugar. Here's the big thing about your blood sugar raising. When your blood sugar goes up after a meal, the higher it goes up, the more your risk for plaquing your arteries. That's why strategies like using phase 2, if you're going to have a lot of people are on the go, right? They choose to eat something like this for breakfast. They can use this.
Okay, so we need to take a short break, and we'll
Absolutely.
be right back on The Chef You and I with Jim LaValle.